So you want to get into copywriting or marketing writing, and you don't feel like your skill or expertise falls into one of the three big niches that copywriting is known for, which is anything financial, anything dealing with health, and anything dealing with self-help. So what do you do? Well, I got this question from a subscriber. He says, Roy, I'm struggling with my niche. My area of expertise does not fall into the three key evergreen subjects. I'm a martial arts, self-defense, and combat sports instructor. I'm also a police personal safety trainer and Taser lead instructor. Any advice? And that's from Nick. Well, I do have to acknowledge upfront that it is easiest to hang out your shingle saying copywriter and get started in those big niches, especially money and health. Like those are typically the niches that have the most demand for people who call themselves copywriters. They are the niches where there are the most publicly notable clients hiring copywriters. They're the niches where copywriting is often taught. And so there's a lot of extra intelligence out there in the marketplace regarding that. But they're certainly not the only places where direct response marketing is relevant. So on a purely principles basis, and principles being like the underlying and strategy too, the underlying principles and strategies that represent direct response, things like every advertisement that you put out should have like a call to action and a clear next action, and every ad should have an offer, and advertising should pay for itself. Well, that's going to apply in any niche, any industry. And so, for example, like when I got started with an IT training publisher, one of the things that I started doing right away was just making sure that every landing page had a clear next action with telling people where to go and what they're going to get when they get there. Making sure that everything has a clear offer, making sure that all of these things are laid out. And the more effectively you apply those basic principles and strategies, the more powerful marketing will be for any business. But I imagine that you're asking this because you're more interested in writing the longer form direct response. You're interested in writing sales letters, video sales letters, landing pages, maybe Facebook ads or whatever that are email marketing that's going to lead people through that path to the sale. And you're interested in getting paid well as a copywriter for doing those things. Well, I would look toward anything that has a information heavy sale, meaning that there's a lot of information that is delivered either in the process of selling the product, like I teach in my value first funnel strategy. Like it doesn't have to look like a sales letter to contain all of the elements that a good sales letter would contain, but the use of information throughout the selling process, delivering information in order to get people to be interested in a product and to respond. Well, those are going to be good niches, which then suggests that something that is a more complex offer is going to be something that is going to benefit from having a copywriter involved. So, for example, selling toilet paper, and I use this toilet paper, paper towels, all that stuff as an example often. It's such a simple offer. Like you're getting this thing and you already know what it does. And maybe there's some slight variation in materials and all of that. But you're getting this thing, you know what it does, and it's a simple idea. And so you don't need a lot of copy. You don't need a top copywriter to write ads for toilet paper. On the other hand, something much more complex, which could be an investment newsletter, it could be a stock pick, it could be a health-related product, or it could be, speaking to you, Nick, things like martial arts. That's actually a rather complex idea. Self-defense courses, rather complex. Police personal safety. There is some complexity to these subjects, and the offers that are put into the marketplace there would benefit from somebody who is able to clearly and compellingly present the stories and the sales pitch around those. And then Within industries where there are more complex things, complex offers being sold, where there's more information heavy selling going on, you can look and say who is using any kind of direct response style advertising, who's using longer form Facebook ads, who's using longer form emails or emails that have a clear call to action, who is using longer landing pages or video sales letters or video presentations that aren't quite sales letters, but that still are designed to sell and get people to take a specific action. And you can look through a niche, and this is homework. This is hard work, but the people who succeed are the people who are willing to put in the hard work. You got to go out there. You got to say, okay, well, I'm interested in these topics. Because I'm interested in these topics, I know some businesses in the niche. I know maybe some that sell courses. I know some that sell in-person training. I know some that sell whatever. I'm going to look at all the people that are out there, make a spreadsheet of the people that are out there, and then start marking. Like, these people do marketing kind of like I would like to do, and I could probably help them. And so you have to look, and you have to be flexible, and you have to say, okay, well, these people do look interested. Like, the way that they do their marketing is something where I think that I could provide value as a outside consultant, and so I'm going to have them on my short list of people who I'd be interested in working with. And then once you have that short list, once you've said, okay, here's all the companies, here are the ones out of the bigger list of companies that do marketing similar to what I think that I would be able to do with them. And then here's contact information for maybe the marketing director or the marketing and sales director, the president, the CEO, where I feel like I could reach out to that person within the business and have a conversation with them about marketing and start asking questions. Now, there are some big differences once you get outside of those big niches that you need to be aware of. So a lot of businesses are not used to hiring somebody called a copywriter. It's really shorthand within the direct response industries that if I say I'm a copywriter, it means I'm able to write direct response copy that's going to generate sales. And it often means that I write long form sales letters. So if they're not used to hiring people and they don't use that same language, you have to figure out what language you need to use to approach them. And it could be that, I help you generate marketing systems to get more sales. I help create marketing systems. I create the landing pages that get new customers to convert. I do whatever it is, like focus on what they are doing, what you can point to and say, hey, I can help you do that better, right? And that may not mean that you use the word copywriter. You may also find some variability around type of copy used. So we've talked about that a little bit. You are probably, like, if they're not already using long form sales copy and order forms and email direct response copy and all of that, you may struggle to push them into that versus having something where you are more clearly working with a client who's used to using a specific type of copy that fits more under the direct response umbrella. So you have to be ready to be a little bit flexible, maybe provide suggestions, but especially as you're getting started with the client, working within to change the system towards a more direct response oriented business. And there you may also run into a lot of different expectations regarding fees and royalties. So people in the direct response industry have a certain understanding and value that they place on copywriting by name. People outside of the industry may have a different value and a different expectation and different systems and processes regarding even the possibility of paying royalties. So if somebody is outside of the traditional direct response niches, you would probably be better off negotiating something like a performance bonus versus royalties. And I have a training, I'll include the link in the description, that's copywriting royalties and pay for performance, that talks about that. The whole process of negotiating this, whether it's a client that pays royalties or doesn't. But what you'll find is it's a whole lot easier inside the main niches to ask for royalties and get them versus outside, where it's you usually have to be a little bit more creative in how you position that. And all of this said, I will state that martial arts, fitness, self-defense, combat sports, like those are actually really big industries for direct response. And there are some great copywriters who have worked in those industries before. There are also way more direct response companies out there than you think. And one of the best ways to actually connect with them is if you can at all find your way to a marketing conference. I'm recording this in the middle of the whole coronavirus shutdown, so there's not as many conferences going on today, but find your way towards groups of people, including meeting in person when that's available, who are gathering to talk about direct response marketing. And what you'll usually find is maybe that whole room is not your client base, but if you deal with a few dozen businesses, you may, and you have lots of conversations, you may easily run into somebody who is clearly a good fit for your service, who's in an industry, in a niche that you are interested in, and that you could speak with at that point. You know, I've actually done work in these industries. I've connected with people, not like the police stuff, but inside self-defense. I've done a project actually tied to a financial publisher that was self-defense. I've worked in the survivalist niche. I've bounced off the sides of these industries a bit, and I know that in the context of self-defense and combat sports, there are a ton of businesses out there that are using response accountable marketing, that want higher conversion rates, that want more customers, and that's really what it all comes down to. Like, if you can find businesses who are open to experimenting with marketing, who want more leads, customers, sales, and profits, and they're in a niche that you want to work with, it's just a matter of defining your offer, making your offer to a few of these businesses, and figuring out who bites. And as soon as you have one or two projects under your belt in a specific industry, you can really start to snowball that into something bigger. So with that, if you like this content, make sure that you click like, so the magical algorithms of the internet will share it with people like you. You can also share it yourself with people who might find it valuable. Comment, share your takeaways, share any questions that you have still at this point, and subscribe. You can subscribe here. You can also click the link in the description to go to breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com for my Monday through Friday emails, where you get even more from me. My name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Check out the links to the training in the description as well. I will see you again in your next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.